Welcome back, Trailblazer fans, to the weekly recap show here at MCLA. I'm Dan Wohler here with Assistant Athletic Director Jeff Polari. And Jeff, we had a long weekend and a lot of action for both basketball teams.
Yeah, it's the regular seasons are winding down, and they certainly had a very busy week. And but things are starting to wrap up, and playoffs are taking shape. So it should be an interesting time.
Right. So first, for the women's side, they split a pair of MASCAC games. First game was Framingham State. Let's discuss that game a little bit.
Yeah, so they played Challenge Framingham State last Wednesday. Seems like it was a long time ago, but Framingham was a tough matchup for them. A little bit too much offense, a little too much pace. We struggled at times, turned the ball over a little bit too much, and that ultimately cost us in the end in that one there. That was the difference.
And then Fitchburg State on Saturday, another MASCAC game.
Saturday was an important game. Fitchburg's been having a tough season, and it was a game we needed to go down there and get a win, and that ultimately did clinch a playoff berth for us. It was nice to see a lot of players step forward. Our top scorer, Kayla Hodling, did not have a tremendous day, so it was nice to see some other players step forward. Karina Matera, Courtney Pengelski, Courtney McLaughlin, all stepped up, had some good games, and it was nice to just walk out of there with a win, which is what they went down there for.
Right, and then last night had some non-conference matchups for both the men and the women, so the women defeating Norwich.
Yeah, it was kind of a contrast in styles. We've been used to seeing some up-tempo and some trapping, defense and so forth. This was kind of a slower pace. We eked out a 55-50 win over Norwich. Again, some of those younger women really kind of grew up quickly. Courtney Pengelski has kind of had a little bit of a resurgence. She kind of hit a lull in the middle of the season. She had a great game last night. Karina Matera continues to be a double-figure per game scorer since she's been inserted into the starting lineup. So it's been nice to see some of those young people get back into the rhythm and kind of wind back into form.
And now for the women's side, we'll take a look at the MASCAC standings as the women's team looks to move up into the top tier of the MASCAC.
Yeah, so right now there's kind of a logjam kind of battling for the 4, 5, 6 slot in the conference. MCLA, Worcester State, and Salem State. A lot of games left to be played. MCLA actually has what we would, for de facto reasons, call a bye tonight. There's other conference action going on tonight that will help kind of decide and shuffle that out a little bit. But ultimately, we have one game left on the schedule as well, and there's too many different tie-breaking scenarios. Everybody is split with each other in that trio, so the tiebreakers could be quite interesting. But MCLA is in the postseason. That's the important piece. It's just a matter of whether or not we host a playoff game or are put on the road.
And MCLA will host their last regular season game, a conference game against Bridgewater State, and that'll be senior day for both teams. So we have the lone senior, actually, Emily Castle on the women's side. Yeah,
senior day in basketball has a little different meaning than all the other sports. It's something that players are accustomed to through the high school ranks, and this Saturday, 1 o'clock, the women will challenge Bridgewater State, who's battling for the top spot in the league. And as we said, we'll honor Emily Castle before the game, get some comments, and see how that goes. And hopefully they can send her off with a victory on the home court. And hopefully, if they can get past Bridgewater, that would solidify their place with getting a home game on Tuesday night.
Right. And now on to the men's side. They also split a pair of MASCAC games, so they played Framingham first on Wednesday a week ago.
Yeah, and that was a real critical game for the men's side. The men had lost to Framingham earlier in the year. A loss to the Rams would have ultimately probably been our doom for the postseason.
Right.
But they pulled out one of their better performances of the year. They got the season split with Framingham and are now ahead of them in the conference standings with a game and a half left to go. Framingham's got a game tonight, and then we wrap up this Saturday. So they really needed to get that win. They got it.
And then the men's team traveled to Fitchburg State on Saturday, and unfortunately losing to MASCAC rival.
Yeah, and it was a tale of two halves. The first half we were the aggressor. We held I want to say an 11-point lead at the half, and the second half, just defensively, we kind of fell apart. We gave up 59 points in the second half, which is obviously too many. Fitchburg's one of the top teams in the conference. They're vying for a potential top seed as well. It is a matchup that we may see in the postseason. So a tough setback, but hopefully they can pull some confidence out that they were right there with them for quite a while.
And then last night in the non-conference action for the men's team playing Pine Manor College, a very young team. This is only their second season. Very fast-paced game, hard-fought battle, losing 107-102.
Yeah, I mean, talk about your contrast in styles. It was just press all over the place, up and down the floor. There's I want to say the two teams combined for something like 180 shots in the
Right.
game. Which is an amazing feat, and just kind of ran out of gas down the stretch. They made a few more plays than we did. Joe Wiggins had a tremendous game, had 24 points off the bench, but a lot of guys got some playing time. A lot of guys showed what the future potentially might be.
Right, Adam Conquest also having a great game as well. And now we'll look into the men's MASCAC standings as MCLA kind of towards the bottom in the standings right now.
Yeah, and right now they are, they're in the postseason, and they will be a road team Tuesday night in the playoffs.
Right.
Opponents still yet to be determined. Too many games left to play, but they are in the postseason. So it's been a tough regular season. I'm sure they would all attest to that. But that's the beauty of getting into any postseason bid is there's always opportunity to turn things around quickly and get hot at the right time.
And then, as we mentioned before, Saturday, both teams play Bridgewater State, and it'll be senior day for the men's team as well. We have seniors Paul Maurice and Khalil Paul, the two co-captains of the team.
Yeah, Khalil Paul is a two-year trailblazer, and he's been a very key component over the last two seasons, been their leading scorer. Paul Maurice is a four-year senior, and he certainly has done his share.
Definitely.
He's, probably not going to get there at this point, but was chasing 1,000 points. But he's had a very remarkable career, and it'll be great to honor those two prior to the tip-off. And we host Bridgewater State, a team that we fell to earlier in the season in overtime. So it should be a great game to come out and support the two seniors and hopefully go into the playoffs on a high note.
Right, and we'll take a look at some things that happened for athletics this past week. So the Pink Zone game on Wednesday that MCLA hosted.
Yeah, the Pink Zone, every year in February, college basketball across the country tries to raise awareness for cancer and so forth. And so they created the Women's Basketball Coaches Association, created this Play for K event, which has kind of morphed into the Pink Zone, and we were fortunate to have another successful event last Wednesday night, raising some money for a local charity, and things went really well.
So now we'll cut to Jesse Collings, who actually was at the event, and he'll preview the event for us.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the Amsler Campus Center for the Pink Zone games between MCLA and Framingham State. I caught up with a couple players and coaches, and they discussed the significance of this day and this event. Coach Harley McGovern talked about organizing the event and its importance to the local community.
There's a number of schools nationally that go into the Play for K Day, and I just thought that it would be a great touch for us to start rotating and using some of the local charities and assisting them in their awareness and all that they do for cancer patients and their families.
McGovern discussed how the event had evolved from her first year on campus to what it is now 10 years later.
I just, the way that we go and approach the day, we've got the half-court shot we're setting up, the raffles during the men's game, and also the dedication ribbons. That's a new feature for us, and it seems to be pretty effective.
MCLA guard Ashley Clausen spoke about how cancer affected everybody.
I think that we all know that somebody who's been affected by cancer, it's a big problem in the world today, and I know a lot of us personally have been affected by it, so it feels awesome to be doing something for it.
Adams resident MCLA guard Mackenzie Robinson spoke about the proceeds going to a local charity.
When you do stuff local, you know a lot more people. So when you do it, you can say, "Oh, I helped this person out," or like, "This can help this person out." Of just fundraising money, of doing something we love, and playing the game is simple for us. And when we play the game, we're contributing money to a great cause, which it's again an amazing feeling that we can help.
There you have it, an important day not only for MCLA but the community as well. Now, if you are interested in donating to Pop Cares, you can visit their website at www.popcares.org. Now back to Jeff and Dan in the studio.
Thank you, Jesse. And now, Jeff, we'll take a look at the week ahead for the Trailblazer basketball teams.
Yeah, as we've already spoken about, regular season finale, senior day this Saturday, tipping off at 1 o'clock with the women against Bridgewater State. Bridgewater State again vying for the top slot in the MASCAC, perennially one of the top teams in the league. They won the conference tournament a couple of years in a row now anyway. And then the men's game will tip at 3 o'clock. Both of those games do mark the regular season finales. But as I've already spoke about, they will be continuing into the playoffs, and that'll catapult us into Tuesday night. Tuesday night's the opening round of MASCAC tournament play. Right now, the women are in position to potentially host a game Tuesday night, and the men will be on the road. And as I said, both opponents still yet to be determined, as there's plenty of games left to play.
Trailblazer fans, make sure to follow us on all social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. For myself, Jeff, and Jesse, just like to thank you for watching and make sure to tune in next week.